Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. Let's discuss a new topic today, a very simple topic. First of all, I would like to put before you a familiar and a very simple question. That's what is catharsis? What is catharsis? That is a very familiar question to you, the literature students, and very commonly we take the answer to this question from the definition of tragedy by Aristotle. And we say that is nothing but the purification or purgation of emotions. Right? You're right, but what is the purification of emotions? Actually, catharsis is a single term we take to literary studies and literary criticism for its presence in the definition of tragedy by Aristotle in his work Poetics. Actually, he used this term only once in his work Poetics in the chapter number 6 when he defines or when he presents his very famous definition for tragedy. Catharsis is a term used by Aristotle in his definition of tragedy in his work Poetics in chapter number 6, and he says that arousal of pity and fear, the deep emotions of pity and fear for the tragic hero, the spectator goes through a kind of purification of emotions. That is the reason for making the tragic flow and tragic event an enjoyable thing. In other sense, catharsis is an answer to the question how and why a tragic event becomes an enjoyable thing or artistic enjoyment, a reason of artistic enjoyment in a tragedy. A tragic event in our real life is not enjoyable, right? Death or pain or suffering, it's not enjoyable in real life, but that is enjoyable in a tragedy. Why? We cannot enjoy a spoonful of chili powder, right? But that is enjoyable and that is tasty with pieces of mango and other fruits, right? So an artistic experience of a tragic event is like enjoying chili powder with other tastes or other matching items. So this artistic creativity and artistic elements makes the tragic incident in a tragedy enjoyable to the spectator, and the reason is arousal of pity and fear at the first sense leads to a kind of purification of emotions for or by or after the sudden release the spectator or the reader reaches to. Let me explain. Just imagine we are facing a trouble. How can we deal with the tragic event in our life? It's very horrible. But just imagine we have an experience of the same event in a tragedy, and then according to Aristotle he says that our emotions, our nature emotions are getting into a special kind of maturity. Our emotions, our natural emotions for or towards the tragic events in our real life situations are purified and get into a special kind of maturity. And this mature sense or mature emotional circumstances or situation or mature emotional status surely leads and helps for a healthy social life. And according to Aristotle, this purification of emotion or this purgation of emotions or this taking the emotions into a matured level, the maturity of emotions or matured status of emotions helps the spectator or the reader to lead a healthy social life. It means When we need to face, or when we are taken into a phase of tragedy in our real life, we can think more critically, or we can express our emotions, we can manage, we can control our emotions with maturity. That is a result of catharsis, because our mind, with arousal or after the arousal of pity and fear for the tragic hero in the tragedy, gets or taken to a sense of sudden release. So the tragedy or the tragic lives, tragic events of the spectator, sorry, not the spectator, but the tragic hero, are enjoyable for the enjoyment of getting a release after the arousal of pity and fear. The pleasure of this release after the arousal of pity and fear leads to purification of our natural emotions, and we can deal with realistic approach, we can deal with the real life situations with a matured status of emotions. That is what we call catharsis. And the catharsis is what makes the sufferings and defeats of the tragic hero enjoyable to spectators and readers. That is the catharsis we use to say the purification of emotions. Thank you.